You want to make money, you want to be wealthy, you want to be rich, you want to end up with a view like this, then you've got to start to understand the psychology of money, and most of us don't. Remember that class you went to in school where you were taught how to make millions of dollars out of nothing? Maybe you missed that one, right? Yeah, because it wasn't taught in school. These are skills you learn on the street. These are skills that you learn through 40 years of working in real estate and investment like I have. And if you want to acquire those skills, you're better off riding on the back of someone that's done it, right? So how do you actually make money? Well, you've got to stop focusing on income production, because that's what you were taught in school. Go out, get a good job, earn money. Great. You know what that's going to get you at the end of your lifetime after you put your money into a 401k or a superannuation? You're going to end up with not enough money to friggin' live on by the time you get to 60. Okay? You're going to end up scraping your way through life. Think about it. How much do you earn in a normal working lifetime? Well, most people now generate around 100 grand a year. So that means 100 grand a year for 40 years. That is going to give you $4 million worth of income. And what do most people do? They maybe save 400 grand of that, right, into a 401k or super. The other $3.6 million gets spent on, wait for it, shit. That's it. They spend it on shit. And what do they have at the end of it? A great pile of shit sitting in their house or somewhere else. Because I've never met anyone yet that said to me, oh, Brett, you know, I made an absolute fortune investing in my house. Because it doesn't happen, dude, right? If you want to make money, if you really want to be rich, you've got to find an investment vehicle that is going to compound your money at about 20% per year. And the one that I know that works best is commercial real estate. Why? Because it's attuned, hooked to, rides on the back of, giddy up on inflation. What the hell is inflation? Inflation is the fact that prices are manipulated to go up each and every year. You've got wages pushing against that, and you've got prices being pushed up because everybody's putting their prices up, right? So everyone jumps on the back of that, and every year we've got inflation. So commercial properties are tied to that, particularly retail ones. Why? Because every year the retailers are going to put their prices up. Why? Because their wages and other costs go up, so they put their prices up. What does that mean? It means their income goes up, which means they can pay more rent. Rents in commercial properties are set every year to go up by a certain percentage, generally around 3%, which means 3% over 10 years, it's going to go up by 30%, except that it's compounded. So it becomes $100 becomes $103, and then it's 3% on 103. So it becomes 106.25. And then it's another 3% on top of that, which becomes 109.65, etc. And it compounds. So at the end of 10 years, you're more looking like a 45% increase in the value of that property. So what does that mean for you? It means if you just put in 10 grand a year over 10 years, that $100,000 that you've been putting in from your wage would become $360,000. Keep it in for another 5 years and it becomes 1.3 million. Wow, now we're talking, right? Just 15 years you get $1.3 million having put in 150 into that sort of investment vehicle. And then if you keep it in for another 5 years, 2.6. Keep it in for another 10 or 30 years in total, that becomes $16.5 million. Now we're talking, brothers, right? Now we're talking. 16.5 million over 30 years for just 10 grand a year in. $300,000. Imagine if you put more in. I read the story just recently of this dude, and he put in a similar amount of money, 20% of his total wage over his entire working life. And he's now worth $77 million. $77 million. Isn't that crazy? That's what you got to do if you want to really be rich. Switch on, understand the system, stop being manipulated, and start to make yourself some real money.